Hello, divers. Coming to you from Studio D, the Deep Dive Podcast proudly presents Hollywood Hype, a series that looks at the gimmicks, tie-ins, and publicity stunts that lured unsuspecting patrons into movie theaters. I'm Tom Feeney, two-time Emmy Award-winning producer and writer for Wang's Chop Movie Magazine. New issue out now on Amazon.com. That's WENG''SCHOP. Issue number 13. Ask for it by name. During May of 2026, something pretty groundbreaking occurred in the North American movie theaters. Not only were there no films starring Timothée Chalamet, but for the first time ever, there were two movies at the top of the charts that were directed by YouTubers. Amazingly, the internet video platform that once brought us Shane Dawson, Mr. Beast, and Fred has now become a fertile breeding ground for young filmmakers showing off their storytelling skills. The weekend of May 29, 2026 saw the top two films at the box office having been helmed by relative youngsters who began posting their videos on YouTube. They're the liminal space-themed horror pick Backrooms and the disturbing non-rom-com Obsession. So how does a streaming video repository like YouTube, once known for questionable content creators like Jake Paul, Rebecca Black, and Trisha Paytas, become this kind of nouveau nursery for talented young filmmakers? Well, let's go back to the beginning. Way back in the early 2000s. My God, that really was 25 years ago. Whew. Three young men left their tech jobs at online payment company PayPal to start their own company, a video dating service. Yes, that's right. Three nerds looking to get some. Their idea was called Tune In, Hook Up. Brilliant. It didn't work. They needed to pivot. They came upon a rather forward-thinking idea after realizing that it was very difficult to find video clips of major events online. So why not create a space where people could upload clips that anyone else could watch? In 2005, that idea was given form: YouTube. The first video was uploaded on April 23, 2005. Was the idea an instant success? Well, a little over a year later, Google bought YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock. So I guess it was. But it hasn't been smooth sailing from then to now. But more people do watch videos on YouTube than currently watch traditional television. And that includes not only the broadcast networks, but also Netflix and Disney+. In an era when anyone with an internet connection and a smartphone can make their own channel, regular TV seems practically ancient. It also holds true that when you put professional level tools in front of non-professionals, you get a lot of, well, garbage. A lot of folks have fancied themselves to be auteurs only to prove the old adage by sci-fi author Theodore Sturgeon, 90% of everything is crap. But that 10% can make it worthwhile to tolerate the rest. I mean, how many awful podcasts have you had to slog through before you found this one, right? No, never mind, don't answer that. So that adage was true when YouTube was in its infancy, and it's pretty much still true. The technology gets better, the tools get better, but there are still many whose reach simply exceeds their grasp. And yet, the cream always rises to the top. Geez, I really need to lay off these cliches. Whew. All right, basically, in the past few years, a new generation of creatives, one that grew up with YouTube as a normal, everyday part of their lives, have emerged as a new force in more traditional media. And we're going to talk about a few of them. Back in 2013, which just to remind you, was 13 years ago. A 32-year-old Swedish man named David Sandberg posted a short film to YouTube that he wrote and directed. It was called Lights Out and became a viral sensation, getting millions of views. After that, he began getting offers from studios wanting to work with him. Sandberg's first major project was, unsurprisingly, a full-length adaptation of Lights Out for Warner Brothers.
Your brother fell asleep in homeroom this morning for the third time in the past week.
Where's Mom?
Someone keeps on coming over.
Who?
Her name's Diana.
What did you say? Hi, Mom. Hey, you want to talk about it?
They've been sleeping with the lights on. Every time I turn them off, there's this woman. She doesn't like the light.
I know. I see her too.
Mom?
What's up? Did we wake you?
What?
I want to tell you a story. Long time ago, I had a friend named Diana. I found out something really bad happened to her. But she came back. She's gonna stay as long as you keep the lights out.
There is a dead woman in this house.
Oh, God!
Everyone is afraid of the dark, and that's what she feeds on.
The film was generally well received by both audiences and critics. It pretty much assured that Sandberg would be around for a while. After Lights Out, he helmed the horror prequel Annabelle Creation and the 2 Shazam movies for DC. Oh well, you can't win them all. The last few years, however, have seen an explosion of indie films made by former YouTubers. Now, we briefly touched upon Obsessions and Backrooms, and more on those in a bit. But there's another recent movie release that's gotten some positive buzz. This one based on a video game.
I see that question in your eyes. For what purpose do we remain alone in the dark?
Beginning the descent. Cruising depth in roughly 2 minutes. Stand by.
I ask myself that very same question.
I'm seeing some voltage irregularities on the instrument, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that.
Why would there be flames? You did test this thing, right?
This is the test. Closing porthole shielding.
Where's the reason for this quiet rapture? Too few to rebuild, too many to feed.
You're the first one down. All we have are surface scans, that's why you're there. Well, one of the reasons.
Can we just agree this is important? Food, air, we need this, not just the COI, all of us. We need this.
There aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks. Eden doesn't understand that. You don't understand that!
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?
Iron Lung is a 2022 video game about a pilot guiding a small submarine through an ocean of blood on a distant moon. A YouTuber calling himself Markiplier became famous on the platform as someone who posted himself playing video games, one of them being Iron Lung. Now, Markiplier, whose real name is Mark Fishbach, announced that he would finance, write, produce, direct, and star in his own adaptation of Iron Lung. Now, on paper, there is no way a self-funded movie like that could ever be a mainstream success. But in this age of digital creation, anything is possible. In 2023, Fishbach posted a trailer for his project. 2 years later, he announced the film's completion. So how do you get your little $3 million pet project into theaters? Well, if you have a massive platform like YouTube, you take it directly to the people. Fishbach mounted a grassroots campaign to encourage his followers to personally call theater chains to carry Iron Lung. Did that work? Well, since the film was released in January 2026, it has shown in over 4,000 theaters across the globe. In May, Iron Lung began its digital streaming release. Where? Shockingly, on YouTube. As of this recording in June of 2026, Iron Lung grossed over $50 million, which pretty much assures that Fishbach will direct again. So that brings us to the most recent success stories from YouTubers to filmmakers. There is a website that has existed for over 20 years. A site that has been a lightning rod for the controversial, the extreme, and the offensive. It's a place with no boundaries and no censorship. Naturally, it's incredibly popular with a certain subset of humanity. The site is called 4chan. On 4chan, anyone can post pretty much anything and do so anonymously. And people do just that. The good, the bad, and the truly horrifying all dwell within 4chan. One of the more interesting contributions to pop culture to come from 4chan are creepypastas. These are internet horror stories posted by people online. We've talked about it before on the podcast. Most fall into that 90% crap category. A few, however, have crept into popular culture and made some real-world impact. One of these creepypastas is called The Backrooms. It started with a seemingly innocuous photo of a large, empty, sepia-tinted room illuminated only by overhead fluorescent lights. The photo was an example of what are known as liminal spaces, empty rooms of abandoned places that have an eerie or unsettling quality. Now, if you've ever watched a video of a dead shopping mall, you know what a liminal space is. So there was no story or narrative of any kind attached to the photo, so the internet ran wild with their own interpretations. Lore began to coalesce around the backrooms, including multiple levels, dangerous entities, and alternate dimensions. And it was only a matter of time before someone would take that concept and run with it. That someone was YouTuber Kane Parsons. With a background in visual effects and electronic music, Parsons began making and posting short videos on the platform. Being a big fan of the Backrooms, Parsons was disappointed in the lack of any quality content based on the creepypasta. So using his knowledge of computer animation, he created a short called The Backrooms, and then in parentheses, found footage. It became a YouTube sensation, and Parsons made it into a recurring series. A year later, in 2023, a meeting with popular movie studio A24 led to an agreement for Parsons to direct a feature-length adaptation of his web series.
I found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Keep up. It only gets better. You got the camera, right? Or you can borrow it again.
You still haven't told us what we're doing here, man.
I did tell you. Research.
What the fuck?
All these places and buildings, rooms, misremembering themselves. It's a real mess. But also beautiful, in a way. No.
Clark, where are we?
Once again, a relatively small investment has paid off in big box office numbers. Against a budget of only $10 million, Backrooms has amassed over $200 million in receipts in its first few weeks in theaters. Now, if 2026 wasn't already looking like the year of the YouTube directors, there's yet another example that streaming platforms are the new film schools. The final film, and our look at this YouTube generation of filmmakers, is perhaps the most amazing of all. Consider this. A kid from Alabama and his buddy are film students in Los Angeles. The pair decide to make short comedy sketches for YouTube. The Alabama youngin is named Curry Barker. In 2023, Barker made a short horror film called The Chair about, well, a haunted chair. The short was very well received by viewers, and his second film, Milk and Cereal, which was an hour-long found footage film about a pair of pranksters who let their shenanigans get way out of control, was also released on YouTube. It too got terrific reviews. A film producer approached Barker about making Milk and Cereal into a feature-length film, but instead, Barker pitched the idea for a different movie he had in mind. A movie that's the very definition of be careful what you wish for.
What's up?
I was calling to see if there's a way I can alter a wish.
Like to cancel your wish?
No. It's okay to keep the... I just want to know if I can, like, alter it a little.
I'm sorry, we don't really do that.
No?
If you have any questions about how the wish works, or if you read the back of the box...
Is it even real?
Yeah, it's real.
No, I know that Is her love real?
Just because you chose this for her doesn't make it less real.
Obsession, about a young man who gets way more than he bargained for, way more, was made for a paltry $750,000. And despite its meager budget, Obsession manages to be truly disturbing in places, and has quickly become one of the most talked about films in years. Now, no spoilers here, but the internet has been practically set ablaze with debates surrounding the film and its message, or if there truly is one at all. The movie itself has become an obsession among its fans, and even critics who praise the film for its storyline, atmosphere, and performances. As of this recording, Obsession has grossed an astonishing $225 million, and that's before streaming and physical media sales. Now, some see this new generation of YouTubers moving to the big screen as a positive sign for the motion picture industry, a moving away from the mega blockbusters and sequels that have inundated megaplexes for years. And this is just scratching the surface. There are others waiting for their chance to break out of the YouTube universe and make their mark in the mainstream. For the moment, it seems like horror is the one genre which is exploding right now. But don't be surprised if the next hot drama or comedy or even musical comes from someone currently posting their own homemade videos on the tubes. Thanks for listening. If this is the first time you've heard this podcast, check out our past episodes available on almost all podcast providers and subscribe so you don't miss a single one. If you like what you hear, write a review. We'd love to know what you think. Or you can drop us a line at thedeepdivepodcast@gmail.com. All clips used in this podcast are meant for educational purposes only and not to infringe on existing copyrights. Hollywood Hype is part of the Deep Dive Podcast family and a production of Automaton Studios.